What's good, everybody? I'm Jared, about to check out what your favorite WWE wrestler says about you. This video is about Wrestle Fusion. My favorite wrestler is Batista. That was my favorite wrestler during the Ruthless Aggression Era. So I wonder what he has to say about me, if he's even mentioned in this video. So we about to hop into this video. Let's go!
Here's what your favorite WWE wrestler says about you, starting with John Cena. If your favorite wrestler growing up was John Cena, you fought off internet marks for years when they hated him while you loved him.
Yeah.
And they only started appreciating him during his final run.
Yeah.
You have high nostalgia for
I
the
always loved
2007
John.
Super Cena era because you were probably a kid then and life was simple. Cena was your superhero, and you credit him for giving you the mental strength and the never give up mantra to make it through hard times. If your favorite wrestler is Cody Rhodes, you're probably just a bandwagoner. You didn't care about Cody during his Stardust run and called him a traitor.
I
when
liked
he
him when he
started
was
AEW.
bashing
But
Cody
once Cody
Rhodes.
came back to WWE, you jumped on the bandwagon and started acting like he's the coolest thing ever. You probably keep flipping your opinions to fit in with the crowd, and
I love
overall,
Cody.
you're just a people pleaser with no backbone. If your favorite wrestler is
Love
Roman
Roman.
Reigns,
He was my
you
guy.
either hated him from 2015 to
I love Roman
2019
from
and only became a
2013
fan during the
to
Tribal Chief run,
now.
or you've been riding with him since the Shield days and took all the hate
Me.
the big dog got personally.
Me.
He's the coolest person on the planet in your eyes, and every time the OTC comes out, your index finger automatically goes up to
Of
acknowledge
course.
the Tribal Chief. If your favorite wrestler is The Undertaker,
The
you've
Dead
probably
Man.
been watching wrestling since the late 90s or early 2000s, and nothing will ever top that era for you. You believe Taker and Kane were actually brothers, and you were terrified of both of them growing up. You still get chills when the gong hits, even though you've heard it 1,000 times. You religiously defend Taker's WrestleMania streak and still haven't forgiven WWE for ending it. If your favorite wrestler is CM Punk, you think you're smarter than every other wrestling fan and constantly bring up the pipe bomb promo like it happened yesterday. You probably stopped watching WWE when he left and only came back when he returned. You're still mad about how his AEW run ended and blame everyone except Punk. You refuse to admit that your idol is a hypocrite and keep defending him online, even after he keeps going against his words and values.
The Punk.
If your favorite wrestler is Seth Rollins, you're probably just trying to be edgy and not admitting that your actual favorite is Roman. Or you just really love underdogs. Because let's face it, for all his in-ring work and character reinventions, every Seth Rollins fan knows that he'll never be the top guy in the company as long as Roman is around. If your favorite wrestler is Stone Cold, you're stuck in 1998 and think every era after the Attitude Era is trash. You probably own at least 3 Stone Cold shirts and fantasize about punching your boss regularly. You flip people off and think that makes you look cool, but it's just a cover-up for your lack of personality and social skills. If your favorite wrestler is The Rock, you do that eyebrow-raising thing and probably quote his catchphrases in everyday conversation. You defended his Hollywood career while everyone else called him a sellout, and you still pop every time his music hits, even though you know it's not going to lead to anything memorable. If your favorite wrestler is Brock Lesnar, you don't care about work rate, promos, and all that nonsense. You just
I have never heard anybody
people.
say their favorite wrestler was Brock Lesnar.
And an F5 is perfect match psychology. You're fine with part-timers main eventing because they draw money, and you're
I'm not gonna lie, I never heard nobody say Brock Lesnar was their favorite wrestler.
If your favorite wrestler is Eddie Guerrero,
you have genuine
respect for wrestling as an art form. You probably cried during his tribute show and still get emotional thinking about his legacy. You book fantasy matches in your head with Eddie facing AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, wishing we got more time with him. If your favorite wrestler growing up was Edge, you're probably a terrible
Edge.
This man was the biggest villain in existence. He was stealing girlfriends, slapping dads, doing the worst things possible, and somehow you still loved him more than anybody else. You legit started crying when he returned at the 2020 Royal Rumble, and you think his rivalry with John Cena is the greatest of all time. Also, Metalingus is probably in your top 3 songs on Spotify. If your favorite wrestler growing up was Randy Orton, you probably had some issues. You probably tried to hit an RKO on your friends and did his signature pose in the shower. You appreciate him even more now that he's a veteran, and hate Triple H for ruining his legacy with the current booking. If your favorite wrestler is Shawn Michaels, you think he's the greatest in-ring performer of all time and will fight anyone who disagrees. You forgive all his backstage politics because his matches speak for themselves. You've memorized his WrestleMania matches and constantly debate why he should have been the one to end Undertaker's streak.
I don't agree with that.
If your favorite wrestler is Triple H, you probably just had a crush on Stephanie and wished it was you in the game's place. You've done that water spit thing at least 20 times.
Who haven't did that?
Triple H had the coolest entrance in wrestling history. You defended every title reign even when people said he buried talent. You probably think he should have main evented
He really
more
did bury
WrestleManias
talent
and still
back in the
defend
day.
his horrible booking on Twitter. If your favorite wrestler is Mick Foley, you probably grew up in the Attitude Era and just watched a few highlight clips. You can't name any iconic Foley moment except when Taker threw him off the cell or when Edge speared him through a flaming table. You probably just love violence and wish ECW was around, but you have to settle for Jon Moxley in AEW. If your favorite wrestler is Daniel Bryan, you're probably an indie mark and think you're smarter than everybody else. You were part of the Yes movement and think Bryan's the greatest wrestler of all time, and you tune in to AEW Collision just to watch Bryan on commentary. If your favorite wrestler is AJ Styles, you have great taste. You probably watched him in TNA or New Japan before WWE, and seeing him become WWE champion made you emotional. You constantly remind people that he's been phenomenal for over 20 years and constantly fantasize about a Prime AJ versus Prime HBK dream match. If your favorite wrestler is Rey Mysterio, you started watching during the Ruthless Aggression Era and love high flyers.
I love Rey Mysterio back in the day.
The coolest thing ever, and went on the internet just to search pics of Rey without a mask.
I remember he
if your
had
favorite wrestler growing up was
my guy, Batista.
You probably enjoy the powerhouse style and also love wrestlers like Triple H, Lashley, and Goldberg. You've definitely recreated his entrance as a kid and couldn't stop drooling over his muscles and tattoos. If your favorite wrestler is Kurt Angle, you love amateur wrestling.
I love that TNA World Championship.
And other similar
That's one of my favorite
Angle run was his run as Perk Angle in
TNA. That was one of my favorite TNA title designs ever. That black and gold TNA World Championship.
If you're a fan of Jeff Hardy, you probably cried
Who
at
wasn't?
in 2008. Jeff Hardy was your idol growing up, and his
Come on, man.
entrance felt like the coolest thing ever. You defended
the Hardy
him
Boys.
For a wellness violation and personal issue because you grew up with him. Even to this day, you love Jeff and can't help but wonder what would have happened.
How can you not love Jeff?
Enigma managed to stay out of
Growing up, I realized Matt was better.
If you're a Bret Hart fan, you're a purist.
Jeff was just more popular.
Wrestling above everything else. You think the Montreal Screwjob was a complete betrayal and Bret was 100%.
But like I was saying, do y'all remember when Rey Mysterio had the different color mask, and also he matched the contacts with the mask? Like, for instance, if he had a yellow mask on, he'll have yellow contacts in. Or a red mask, he'll have red contacts in.
And don't care about his controversies, you just remember Hulkamania. You probably
showed
your kids old Hogan matches and were disappointed they didn't care. If your favorite wrestler is The Miz, you're just lying, because Miz is nobody's favorite wrestler. If your favorite wrestler is Dolph Ziggler, God bless your soul. If your favorite wrestler is Gunther, you just love to see people suffer. If your favorite wrestler is Goldberg, you grew up during the Monday Night Wars and don't give a damn about work rate, technical wrestling.
They can't get the real picture of Goldberg.
You just love aura farming moments and watching someone get destroyed. If your favorite wrestler is Austin Theory, you believe he's the next big thing in WWE.
No.
You're just waiting for the rocket push, and you can't wait to tell everyone
he's a good wrestler,
how you've been a believer since day one once Theory wins a world title. If your favorite wrestler is Kevin Owens, you watched him in Ring of Honor as Kevin Steen and were excited when he signed with WWE. You appreciate his indie roots and think he's criminally underutilized. You wish he'd get a proper world title run that lasts longer than a month.
I do.
If your favorite wrestler is Sami Zayn, you enjoy a good underdog story, but you're probably pretty bland and listen to Taylor Swift.
I love Sami.
If your favorite wrestler is Drew McIntyre, you appreciate his comeback story from being released to becoming WWE champion. You think Drew is still underrated and deserves a proper world title run. And finally, if your favorite wrestler is Chris Benoit.
Oh, what the hell? Alright, y'all. Great video, man. Some of these were funny. I ain't gonna lie. Comment down below what y'all favorite wrestlers was. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.